What's going on, people? Your boy Man Mike coming at you guys with yet another Atlanta Falcons video, and three things out of the new potential head coach for the Atlanta Falcons. This is purely just surely based on the fact that if Dan Quinn is going as fired as the Atlanta Falcons head coach, what three things that the new coach has to happen, and these are the three things right off the bat for me. And the first one is just he has to have the ability to mix coverages. I truly believe, after doing a ton of homework on a lot of the the potentials, the big time defensive coaches, like Bill Belichick, Rex Ryan, guys, Marvin Lewis. These guys have to have the ability to do one thing. All right, this is what I've seen. Just doing a lot of film, watching a lot of film on defensive teams and whatnot. And I think this is something that the Falcons have to focus on, and that's mixing coverages. Mixing coverages. I think this is what has gotten the Atlanta Falcons. Not necessarily saying this is all Dan Quinn's fault, but they're not doing a very good job of mixing coverages, okay? Everyone knows when and what the Atlanta Falcons defense is going to do at a particular time. And when you look at Bill Belichick this season, Bill Belichick is doing a great job of using man coverage, some zone, but he's doing a wonderful job of disguising coverages, and teams just don't know what they're going to get from the Bill Belichick team. And that's what makes him so successful this season. He's doing a great job of mixing coverages and doing a lot of man coverages, all right? And the second thing is just the size and athleticism. I think this is something that the Atlanta Falcons have to take into account. Guys are bigger, stronger, faster. And when you look at the Atlanta Falcons, their philosophy for the most part, and I'm not exactly sure this is all Dan Quinn's thing. I know he wants to be fast and physical, but at the same time, he wants these guys to have some size slash athleticism. Because when you look at Adrian Claiborne, you look at guys like Jack Crawford, who's playing in. He plays some nose tackle, three tech in some formations and some plays and whatnot. But the Atlanta Falcons, they brought in a guy like Dontari Poe, who's a guy who has a ton of size. So the Falcons weren't necessarily against size. I think this is just one of those instances where TD and Dan Quinn just had a difference of opinion and where they should go. Dan Quinn did at one point. Those guys agreed to go with lighter guys to see how that worked out, and it didn't feel well. But I think the Atlanta Falcons at this point, they need to get with the trend. All right, and the trend right now, bigger, faster guys who are athletic. Guys like Kendricks, who we saw against with the Atlanta Falcons in past game with the Seattle Seahawks. These guys are fast and they are big, okay? Big, fast athletes. And I think this is where the Atlanta Falcons need to get back to. We see that with Devondre Campbell, but the one thing about Devondre Campbell, yeah, he's pretty big and he's okay. He's an okay athlete, but this guy isn't very athletic. He can't run side to side. He can only go north and south. So I think the trend for the Atlanta Falcons with their linebackers, it's okay to have a guy like Deion Jones on your team who's not very big, but he is physical. He's definitely fast. He covers well. But other linebackers for the Atlanta Falcons, they have to have size and athleticism. So that is a trend that I think the Atlanta Falcons are definitely going into. The third one and final one for me, this is probably the most important. Bringing in a offensive coordinator who has to understand, if you have already given Matt Ryan $100 million, about $150 million total in salary, $30 million a year, it's time to protect him. If you want to continue for the next 3 to 5 years, possibly try to get this team and Matt Ryan a ring, he and Julio Jones a ring, well, the Falcons have to understand that they have to protect Matt Ryan. And protecting Matt Ryan is one particular area that I'm highlighting. And the Falcons have to understand that you cannot, okay? Dirty Cutter, you cannot continue to have these long developing plays where Matt Ryan is holding on the ball for 3 to 5 seconds. It's just, you can't have it. You can't have it. Teams are attacking the Atlanta Falcons, and they're on a pace to somewhere in the neighborhood of break records with quarterback throwing over at least a couple thousand yards in 2.5 seconds or less. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 2.5 seconds or less. These quarterbacks are getting the ball out of their hand fast. This is the new way to protect your quarterback. Get rid of the ball fast. And the next offensive coordinator, head coach, they have to understand this. You got to protect Matt Ryan. And protecting Matt Ryan is getting the ball out of his hands quickly. No more long developing plays. Help your offense. Help your offensive line. The Falcons' offense looked much better under one Matt Schaub because he didn't hold on to the ball. He didn't hold on to the ball for 5 seconds. He got rid of the ball quick. And the Falcons' offense looked much more fluid. So when you look at it, man, I think Dirk Cutter or the new offensive coordinator coming in, if the Falcons should decide to fire Dan Quinn, these guys they must understand that the West Coast offense, getting the ball out of his hand quickly, is the way to go. This helps protection. This helps Matt Ryan. This helps the team. And it put the ball into guys like Devontae Freeman, Edo Smith, Quadri Olson. Let these guys do what they do best. Julio Jones, these guys, Calvin Ridley, all these guys who are good will run after the catch. We need yak yards, dog. We need yak yards. This is what made a Jerry Rice. This is what made a T.O. so good, because they would catch a slant and take their mugs like 40, 50 yards for a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? Falcons have to get back to doing things like that. Matt Ryan cannot be the main source of offense, holding the ball for 3 to 5 seconds, and hopefully he hit a 40, 50 yard pass down deep. We can't continue to do that. We got to use these athletes. The Falcons have a ton of athletes on the team. You got to use your athletes. Let them run after the catch, much like Andy Reid and Kansas City. They just let their athletes do their job, and occasionally you'll see a big play, a big throw by your boy Patrick Mahomes. But this is what they do in Kansas City. They just let their athletes do all the work, and that's something that the Patriots have done for years. Just let their running backs catch the ball out of the backfield, catch slants, and just work the middle of the field. Okay, so let their linebackers do that. Let their running backs, the receivers do that thing and get that ball out of Matt Ryan's hand. I don't want to see him getting sacked because he's holding the ball for 5, 6 seconds looking for the deep ball. Cannot continue to do that. So those are the 3 things that the Atlanta Falcons need to, kind of look at going into a possible release or firing of Dan Quinn. So let me know what you guys think about this, man. Leave your comments below. Your boy, man, Mike is out, man. Peace.
Whipping the Princess Diana, double cup bling found her. Oh my, oh God.